Welcome to Psychos and Sociopaths. Today we're coming home. We're talking about Faryion Edward Wardrip.
Yeah, Faryion Edward Wardrip.
And he killed most of the women here in Wichita Falls. Some of them were in one woman was in Fort Worth. But his background, he was born in Salem, Indiana, to George and Diana Wardrip. Would you quit? I can see it in the corner of my eye.
Bugging me now.
Yeah. He has only one brother. He was the firstborn. There's no news articles or TV reports of the experience of any type of mental or physical abuse during his childhood. So basically, he was more or less an asshole.
Yeah.
In 1978, at the age of 19, he joined the National Guard. After 6 years of service, he was released from the National Guard under a less than honorable discharge. The discharge was due to smoking marijuana, disorderly contact, and multiple abuses with absence without leave, AWOL, during his military service. He married his first wife, Jonah D. Jackson. The couple had 2 children together. The marriage was tarnished by Wardrip's drug and alcohol abuse. Same year, he worked as a janitor at Wichita Falls General Hospital. Is that just the United Regional now?
Yeah. Well, yeah, Wichita General. Yeah, it was right there on. What is it? It's the corner of. Broad and 11th Streets. But I mean, it's all it is just a grass field now.
Really?
Yeah, because I mean, they tore that whole Wichita General down. Because Colin was born at Wichita General. We've got a brick from there because when they all tore it down and everything like that, people were just going grabbing bricks and.
Oh, okay. That's
so
cool.
he's got a brick in my storage unit from that hospital. But as soon as they tore that, because they started shutting Wichita General down when United Regional set up their new Breadwell Tower and bought Bethania, and they combined the 2 campuses with that sky bridge.
Oh, yeah. Well, after 12 months, he was promoted from janitor to orderly due to his addiction. He was unable to maintain employment and was bouncing between jobs. Jonah's parents helped the couple financially by paying their rent and buying their groceries. Tired of Wardrip's. I keep on thinking of Operation Enduring Freedom Guy Warship.
Yeah.
If you actually watch this, sir, sorry, Troy. I keep on messing that up. And addictions in 1985. She separated from Wardrip, taking the children with her. She soon filed for divorce, granted in October 1986. His first victim,
Terry Sims. She worked as a part-time EKG specialist at Bethania here in town while attending nearby MSU, or Midwestern State University, back when they were still called the Indians. You remember that? Sims and a coworker, Lisa Boone, had finished working their evening shifts at the hospital around 11 o'clock that night on December 20th of 84. They left work. Sims rode with Boone to a mutual friend's house to exchange Christmas gifts. Sims was planning on spending the night at Boone's residence on Bell Street so Boone could help Sims study for her final exam the following day. Unexpectedly, Boone received a call to return to the hospital to work the midnight shift. She drove Sims to her residence and gave Sims the key to her apartment, dropping her off at about 12:30 in the morning on December 21st. At 7:30 a.m. that same morning, Boone returned home after working a double shift at the hospital. After repeatedly knocking on the locked front door and receiving no answer, Boone went to the landlord and was given a key to her residence. When she gained entry, she saw that the living room had been ransacked. Boone immediately ran back to her landlord's residence, asking for help to find her friend Terry. The landlord entered the apartment and found Sims lying on the bathroom floor in a pool of blood. She had been sexually assaulted and stabbed to death. While Boone was away at work, Sims had heard Wardrip causing a disturbance and went outside to investigate. Wardrip lunged at Sims, and she ran back into the apartment and locked the door. Wardrip targeted her for no apparent reason and broke the door down after she locked him out. Wardrip, who stands at 6'6", weighing about 220, grabbed her. She's 5'3", weighed 94 pounds, and he basically just kind of had his way with her. Because of her resistance, Wardrip bound her hands with an electrical cord. Sims was estimated to have lived several minutes after the attack was over. Police officers preserved a semen sample and found a fingerprint found on Sims' shoe for future analysis. Over a decade later, the print and semen were positively identified to be those of Wardrip. She's buried out there at Crestview.
And the next one is Tony Gibbs. Tony Gibbs, 23, disappeared in January 1985. While employed at Wichita General, Gibbs was no more than 5 feet 1 inch tall, weighed 94 pounds. Wardrip came across Gibbs at 6 o'clock in the morning after he had been out walking all night. He knew Gibbs because she was a registered nurse at the same hospital. He worked as an orderly. This is the time frame that he was working as an orderly. Gibbs offered Wardrip a ride, and after he got in her car, he began hurling. Wow, that's weird. Hurling
her around and screaming at her. Okay, all right. So then
that's a weird wordage on this one.
Well, okay, so like he started like throwing her around inside the car. I guess they wanted to. Whoever wrote this entry, I guess they just wanted to use their thesaurus. I don't know. Anyways, moving on.
He then forced Gibbs to drive down an isolated dirt road to a field. 2 days later, after her abduction, her car was found within a few miles of the hospital. On February 15, utility workers found her naked body in a field at the southwest corner of West Jenstitz Road on Highway 281 in Archer County, 1 mile south of Wichita County line. Where is that at?
Jenstitz Road, 281, Archer County. Okay, so 281 goes out towards
Arrowhead.
No, that's going to be. Is it? I think. Here, hold on. Yeah, I think you're right. Let me double check here.
While you're doing that, the original suspect for her death was Danny Lafton, 24, was initial suspect of Gibbs' murder because he often rode his motorcycle near the area where she was killed, and because he had met her at a nightclub days before she was killed. He also failed the lie detector test and made suspicious statements. Laughlin was then tried, even though comparison of Laughlin's DNA with the DNA from the semen of the murder scene was unsuccessful, and only circumstantial evidence.
And yeah, you're right. 281 is like Henry Grace Freeway that runs along the eastern side of town, southeastern side of town, going out like towards. It skirts around Jacksboro Highway.
Yeah.
So West Gents Road is out there. It's actually more off of Crestview Memorial Road, because you take Rathgaber.
Yeah.
And then you go down. West Gents Road will run into Cooley Road. I mean, dude, there's a lot of. Let me see here. What was the name of that cross street? Yeah, because that looks like 1954. Yeah, so you're right. It was going out towards like Lake Arrowhead, but
Because that's the only road to get to Lake Arrowhead, effectively.
yeah.
Yeah, and to Archer City. I think that's over by the.
Well, no, Archer City's going the other way. So if you're taking 1954, you're going out towards like Scotland, Windthorst, and Jacksboro.
Yeah.
Archer City's on 79, going back the other way.
Okay.
Yeah.
The next victim was not in the town in Wichita Falls. It was actually in Fort Worth. Debra Taylor, 2 months after he murdered Gibbs, he traveled to Fort Worth, Texas, and was initially looking for a job in Fort Worth. He met 25-year-old Debra Sue Taylor in the early mornings of March 24th, 1985, while at a bar on East Lancaster Street. Taylor had been at the bar with her husband, Ken Taylor, but Ken left early because he was tired. Debra remained at the bar. Wardrip approached Taylor and asked her to dance. She accepted his request, and two spent the time together in the club. He then asked her to drive her home, which she agreed to. While outside, Wardrip attempted to make sexual advances, which he was rejected. This frustrated Wardrip, and he killed Taylor, leaving her body at a construction site in East Fort Worth. When Debra failed to return home the next morning, she was reported missing by her husband. Her body was found by two construction workers on March 29th, 1985. Taylor's murder was not believed to be related to the other four cases until Wardrip confessed to doing the killing in 1999. So,
yeah, and then his next victim, Ellen Blau. I think I'm saying that right.
Blue. It's pronounced blue.
Blue? Okay, fine, whatever. September 20th, 1985. Yeah, I say whatever. Okay, Ellen Blue. All right, thank you. Your name deserves to be said properly. All right, September 20th of 85, Wardrip, he abducted her in Wichita Falls. The abduction, I cannot talk. The abduction occurred as Blau was walking alone to her vehicle. She was also a student at MSU. Once he abducted her, he forced her to drive to a secluded area where he eventually killed her by strangulation. He stated in a cold case file episode that he had actually broken her neck. Leaving her body in the secluded area, he drove her car back into Wichita Falls, abandoning it along with her purse. The blood was also discovered on the inside of the vehicle. County road crew employee found her body in a field in Wichita County on October 10th of 1985. Once her body was found, it was in a very advanced state of decomposition, to the point where she could only be identified using dental records. They're not really sure if she was sexually assaulted or not, because her underwear had been pulled down, but because of the condition of her remains, they couldn't do any accurate testing. There was no semen samples available. One of her friends had lived in the same apartment complex as Wardrip, and she had stated that she had felt uncomfortable around him. She was buried at the Benai Jacob Memorial Park in New Haven, Connecticut. Her date of death is listed as September 20th of 1985. So they put her date of death as like the date that she got abducted, but and then that leaves one more. I'm trying to see.
Well, you figure that one out. Tina Kimbrough, on May 6, 1986, he killed the 29-year-old Tina Kimbrough, a waitress he had recently befriended. He went to her apartment and suffocated her with a pillow because she reminded him of his ex-wife. I'm sorry I laughed about that, but that's kind of fucked up. Prior to discovering her body, neighbors told police that they had seen a white man, 6'2" tall, with dark brown hair, wearing a baseball cap, leaving the complex. Danny Lithin, who had been suspect in the death of Tony Gibbs, was ruled out as a suspect because he did not fit the description A few days later, on May 9th, Wardrip called the police from across the state of Galveston, threatening to commit suicide. Once the police arrived, he confessed to the murders. He was sentenced to 35 years in prison. He was paroled in December 1997, and he moved to Onley, Texas, where he remarried and became an active supporter of local church, gained a good reputation. He eventually got a job as a screen door facility.
Screen doctor. He got a good job at a screen door factory.
Oh, screen door factory.
Yeah, there you go. Tina Kimbrough, she's buried in the Wilbarger Memorial Park in Vernon. Now
on the one note though, he was re-prosecuted, and
once they matched up the DNA from the other 3 murder scenes. 4. Yeah, they rearrested him. And they were like, okay, hey, look, we know that you did time for this other one, but
get back to the shop.
Yeah, we got some news for you there, guy.
Which I'm surprised in Texas, he didn't get the death penalty, because he got life without parole.
Well, he's on death row.
3.
It says that he's on death row. He's in prison on death row as of early of 2018.
Oh, okay. They must have gotten better evidence. But,
yeah, because he was sentenced to death in '99, and then they tacked on 3 more life sentences that same year. So I mean, they gave him the death penalty for one of the 4 murders that they went back and arrested him for. But it's kind of, I don't want to say it's cool. It's kind of
shocking.
Adds a dimension of realism, knowing that some of these victims are buried around this area.
Yeah.
Like Terry Sims, she's buried over there in Crestview. Let me see here. Not Debra Taylor. Tina Kimbrough, she's buried over there in Vernon, 45 minutes down the road.
Yeah. And they did what the cold case files they're talking about is the TV show on A&E.
Yeah.
Killer in the Country. He was, if you look at season 1, episode 16, that air date of March 2001, and it's also a forensic file, season 7, episode 25, Sip of Sin. But they also did, they have a couple of books on him, true crime books. One of them's called Body Hunter. Dark Dreams, a legendary FBI profile exam of homicide and criminal minds. Chapter 11 profiled Wardrip crimes. Now, the thing about this guy is he's like most serial killers, that he wanted a little bit more, what do you call it, control?
Yeah, control, but he stopped killing, though.
Yeah,
and I'm not trying to give him props, but he stopped killing. So it's almost like he kind of got his
moral compass.
Yeah, he found the moral compass.
It's more or less like Ed Kemper.
Yeah,
Ed Kemper.
Because once he got out on parole, he moved. Like I said, he moved to Olney, got remarried, became an upstanding member of the church, and just tried to recontribute to society. But these other murders that he didn't talk about, they came back to haunt him, because the cold case. This is back when the Wichita Falls Police Department actually did their job. They went and, they investigated these cold cases, and they had the forensic evidence, and they were able to tie these other murders to him. They knew where he was at based on the parole
Well,
database.
I think it's more or less the DNA evidence was actually more. It could be proved as a
yeah, but
nowadays.
it still took the initiative and the wherewithal and the cognitive capacity of the investigating detective or detectives assigned to that cold case.
Yeah.
To actually put A and B together. Whereas now it's just like, oh, well, in my mind it makes sense, so here's what I'm going to do. And it's like, man, anyways, I'm not going to get on the tangent of bashing the local police department, but because, there are good cops in this department, but for the most part, yeah, we'll just let your imagination do the work there. But with that being said, yes, I must restate that Angry Me Productions, we are a big supporter of police and first responders, so don't get that twisted. Anyways, moving on. Yeah, that's really all we got. You know what I would like to do at some point is, like, some of these serial murders that are here, that are at least within driving distance where they're incarcerated. Like, I don't know, we do a profile episode on them, and then we go interview them.
He's really far away.
Yeah, I know, but
where is he? Where is he?
Livingston?
Livingston. I'm looking up the how far away it is.
Livingston, Texas is like 351 miles from here. Let me see here. Oh, that's just north of Houston.
Yeah.
Northeast of Houston. So like if I'm taking 45 down to Lake Jackson.
Yeah, then you go on 190.
Yeah, well, as soon as I hit Huntsville, I could take 190 all the way across through Oakhurst, Point Blank, cross Lake Livingston. There's a bridge that goes across Lake Livingston. You can get over to Livingston in itself, but man, golly, that's not too terribly far.
There's a well, I guess this month we could do a little bit of
I would like to kind of do like the geography.
There's another one that did 90 people.
Yeah.
Samuel McDowell.
Is he still alive?
Trying to get. Dang it! Come on. It was kind of recent. I'm trying to get his name on here. See if I can get this in here. Nah, he's dead.
Okay. Well, like some of these guys that are alive, or females, some of these guys or women that are still alive. I think
why is it coming up Samuel Little? Yeah, it's Samuel Little. Okay. I don't know why it said McDowell on one of them. But anyways.
Yeah, but anyways, I mean, it would be kind of cool.
Actually, you know what we could do for this episode? And we'll try to put it on a Facebook if we do it. I'm just saying this, but we could actually go to the finding sites where they found the bodies and everything.
Like here locally?
Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah.
That is yeah, that's an idea. A little morbid, but it's an idea. I'm totally behind that. And I say it's a little morbid, but
it's very morbid. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. It's very morbid. But we could make a compilation of the sites and everything. But
and the thing I want to, I was just thinking about is, like, I really want to avoid things like, what's the word I'm looking for here? It's, we want to try to avoid.
Because it would probably just become like a tourist trap type thing.
It would, but if we do that, where like we go to the finding sites, it's more about memorializing the victims than it is idolizing the killer.
Exactly.
Yeah. So, yeah. I mean, I'm down for that. So, absolutely.
Yeah, we could probably do it next weekend.
Yeah. Yeah, we could definitely do that. Because I was thinking about. Because the Thor race is next weekend.
Is it really?
It is. And I was thinking about it, and I was like, man, I kind of want to do it, but at the same time, and not so much. I don't know.
Well, I did the Spartan race, so it wasn't that bad.
Yeah, but it would be me, like actually being a participant, doing the, doing the events or whatever. I don't know. Yeah, I mean, it's definitely worth, checking out. But yeah, we'll definitely we'll see how how it plays and just kind of go from there.
Okay. Well, that's the end of this episode. Sorry if it wasn't that funny, but we went a little bit down the roads of looking at the sites and everything like that.
Yeah, I mean,
because we actually know, because we live in.
Yeah, I mean, these areas are very accessible to us, but I mean, we poke fun at some of the serial murderers themselves, but and I guess because we've got that convenience of separation, as far as geography is concerned, that we can kind of turn that off, and it's not so much of a, hey, this is in our backyard kind of a thing.
Yeah.
I mean, every life that is lost to the hands of a murderer, a serial murderer, whatever, whatever it is, it's still tragic. Somebody's son, somebody's daughter, somebody's mother, father, brother, or sister, they're lost forever. They're never going to come home. You're never going to laugh with them again. You're never going to be able to hold them again. But when we try to poke fun at the murderers themselves, we take deliberate steps to not include parody of the victims, because the victims, they didn't have a say-so in the matter. I mean, they had that choice taken away from them, and they were, for the most part, they had a degree of innocence to them. Okay. But with the serial murderers, with the perpetrators of those heinous acts, I mean, when we poke fun at their appearance, their background, their upbringing, what have you, a lot of that is the byproduct of our dark coping mechanisms to, try to help ourselves process that. How could another human being do that to another human being? I mean, that's our dark humor, coping mechanisms, for the most part. So but yeah, I mean, I think we should probably do that. We should probably try to go see if we could find these, because there's got to be a database somewhere here in town, or at least in county records, of where where they were found.
Well, a lot of the places on here are actually on the website. Like,
so there is a website out there.
Yeah.
Okay, but yeah, I mean, we can try to,
for some of them.
For some of them, yeah. So I mean, what we can try to do is we can do an episode where we can do a compilation of footage from the different find sites, and
one of them was in an apartment complex. It doesn't say the apartment complex though.
Yeah, well, I mean, apartment complexes here in town, they change hands so many times.
Yeah.
It's just like, because you remember the one, the one that's over there on Midwestern Parkway. It used to be called the French Quarter, and it's called something else now. So and especially that one, what is it? I think it's called The Place or something like that. It's on Southwest Parkway, over the by All American Car Wash.
Park Place.
Is it called Park Place? It used to be called something else. It was called the Elms, and then it was like something else, and then they put that god-awful artwork out front. it changed hands since then, too.
Yeah. I know which one you're talking about. The one over here by, Oh man, what is the name of that? I think it is Park Place.
Yeah, something. But anyways.
That's
Yeah, if we do that, if we do a compilation video of the different find sites around town, around our area, I mean, that is to absolutely memorialize
the victims.
the victims. So, that's something that we'll handle with kid gloves, and something we'll put our due diligence into, because I mean, those families, they've already been through hell. So we're not trying to reopen the wounds, but it's definitely something that we want to bring to the attention of the people that live here in the area that listen to our show. Past that, I think that's all that we got for this particular episode.
Well, I am David Dickerman.
I'm Johnny Skelton.
And be safe out there, people.
Yep. Keep your head on a swivel. Stay frosty.
Yep.